Hey, what's going on, ladies and germs? Today I present you the E92 M3, produced from 2008 all the way to 2013. It's the only M3 packed with a V8, an S65 engine that spits out 414 horsepower and revs all the way up to 8,200 RPM. It breathes fire and is arguably the best sounding M3 ever made. It's a modern day classic you should consider buying, but don't wait too long. Similar to the E30s, the E36, and the E46s that have skyrocketed, the E92 M3 is still in its sweet spot, averaging anywhere from $20,000 all the way up to $30,000.
I'm still, dude, I haven't even passed, I'm at 20 miles an hour, but you could already tell this car just wants to go. Like, I'm doing it a disservice by not just giving it one good pull. So in a minute, once I get around these guys here, we're gonna give it a nice little tug. It's begging me for it. Holy crap, dude, I am cruising and this thing is like trying to, it's pushing me back to the seat. Speaking of the seats, man, take a look at them. They're Recaros, not exactly sure what model. Maybe you guys down in the comments can help me out. What model of seats are these? Because when I get my E30, I want them to come with these. This thing is, it's not only so comfortable, but because I'm a relatively skinny guy, like I have space to play around in here, which is, I think, perfect for daily driving. We're gonna give it a holy shit. I mean, I'm surprised because this is the chassis I didn't like the most. I've always preferred the E46 and especially the E30, even if it meant stock, right? I just, for some reason, never, I don't know, maybe it's just associated with everyone that cuts me off.
All right, so now I want to bring you into where the magic really is with this car, and that's the cockpit. I mean, what can I say? The car looks new. You have the 6-speed transmission really tied all in together. But beyond that, you could just tell this car was manufactured to the highest degree. They didn't cheap out on any of the parts in here. Everything feels high quality. I know I'm touching the parts that are aftermarket, but nevertheless, you could tell everything was manufactured with tight tolerances. The buttons aren't falling off. Everything feels solid, you know, because you can tell all the lettering or all the icons on those buttons are solid. I mean, but what can I say? It's an 08 and it feels brand new. Let's get back to the engine. The engine is, again, an S65 engine, not as popular as the S54 engine, but it's still powerful in its own right. These have been proven to be reliable, except for that rod bearing failure. We'll talk about that in just a little minute. This one in particular does have an oil leak coming from the valve cover. It's an easy fix, but the customer sent it off. I don't know, paid $1,400 to get it done proper. But with these cars, it's important, critical, crucial, really, to let it warm up. You have to let those oils penetrate deep into the engine and to penetrate those bearings. Because again, that's a really common issue with these cars. If you guys are getting this car, make sure you guys are letting it warm up before you guys are taking off.
Really, a lot of the times I don't have, you know, the luxury of driving to the canyons like I used to or going anywhere else. So I really appreciate you guys' patience because I want to add value if and where I can. Even if it, you know, means taking it up the street and telling you guys to freaking buy it. Especially if it's something that I'd buy myself, because last thing I'd want is for you guys to make a decision I wouldn't do myself. Oh shit, that was only 6,000 RPM. So the cool thing, I'm gonna put the windows up. The cool thing about this engine is that it revs to 80 or close to 8 grand, man. Like that's crazy. You know, even the S54, which is in the E46, that one revs astronomically high as well. Not as high as this one. I think that one might be a $7,200 7,200 RPM. Still relatively high because really you just, I mean, 6,000 is more than enough in this car. God, and the brakes are so good. That was also a 3rd gear pull, by the way. So much torque all throughout. Like, it has a wide band of just torque all across the RPMs. Before anything, let's take some pictures. And the customer actually brought me this car because he wanted this wrapped in carbon fiber. This is 70, or actually 60 gloss carbon fiber by tiny bots. Now it's actually very intricate because this is all molded into one piece here. So you see this is also a part of this. And then doing this also in one piece is not the best thing. So what I actually did was did the bottom first, did the top after, and I sealed it up. So if you look closer, you guys could probably see the seam right there where my nail is at. And same thing here, it's so thick, it's hard to get this all in one piece because the film has limitations. So for longevity, I did another seam right there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. And then of course, this is its own piece, and then the bottom is its own piece. So I did this in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like 16 pieces I counted right now. So basically the premise of this video is, if you guys are thinking about getting this car, don't wait too long. This is one of those cars that is very exponentially increasing in price. As you guys have seen with the E30 M3 or even the E46 M3, or especially the E36 M3. Those things have skyrocketed to an astronomical level. I think almost to the level of the E46. And I think eventually this is gonna reach the level of the newer ones as well. I mean, if it's not already, right? You can see them for 20, 15 if they're salvaged, or you know, 30 to 35,000 if they're clean. But I still think it's a bargain for this car just based on what you get, right? So it's that old tech with new tech, right? You got all the modern technology you need inside the car, but you also have that V8, which is it's classic, man. And I think this is actually the only M3 with the V8. So I mean, that also just increases the price exponentially. So this is, again, one of those cars that if you guys are thinking about, don't wait too long. Don't be like me. Don't regret not purchasing the car because, you know, in most cases, it could be a good investment. Of course, these cars are relatively reliable. I was looking for something negative to say about this car and I just couldn't find much. So with BMW, either you pay a lot of money to get a nice one that runs proper, or you waste all your money trying to get it to run proper. So you might as well get a good chassis from the start and make sure that it's clean, make sure that the service records are there, because if not, this thing could be very costly and might not even be worth the investment. So as I've said, get this if you guys are interested. If you're interested in wrapping, GSG Wraps on Instagram is where you can find me. And that's it, guys. You guys take care. Let's give it a good little, holy fuck, dude.